They hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster.
Arnold, I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job. And then people can finally sleep comfortably again.
So being from Europe, I have seen firsthand how things can spin out of control. I know there is a fear in this country and all over the world that something like this could happen right here.
Remember when Trump said he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose voters? Well, Arnold just shot back with words, and Trump's Twitter fingers are twitching. Arnold called Trump a failed leader and the worst president ever. Ouch! Is this the political smackdown of the century, or just another day in Trump's America? Once upon a time, Trump and Arnold were buddies. Hard to believe, right? But it's true. These two larger-than-life figures used to be as chummy as a couple of frat bros at a keg party. Let's hop in our time machine and zoom back to 2004. Picture this. Arnold's at the Republican National Convention, cracking jokes about Trump's hair. You know, that golden mop that looks like it's trying to escape his head?
As an immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans. President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet. Very aware of Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. It was a night of rampage against the Jews carried out in 1938 by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys.
Yeah, that one. Arnold thought it was hilarious, and Trump, well, he probably laughed along while secretly plotting his revenge. Fast forward to 2016, and things start to get spicy. Arnold drops a bombshell. He can't vote for Trump. Ooh, trouble in paradise. It's like watching your parents fight at Thanksgiving dinner. Awkward. But Trump being Trump doesn't take this lying down. Nope, he goes full mean girl and starts tweeting about Arnold's Celebrity Apprentice ratings, because that's what presidents do, right? Forget about running the country. Let's obsess over TV rating.
You famously said that the Republican Party has a problem at the box office. I heard you equate the GOP with the Titanic. Explain.
The reason why I said it was because their policies were such that they were not really including everybody. And we were losing them because we were not addressing those issues. So I was telling them, I said, look, the way you're going, by being so healthcare reform and being so anti-environment and stuff like this, we are losing and we are dying at the box office.
Arnold, not one to back down from a fight, fires back. He tells Trump to focus on running the country instead of worrying about some silly TV show. Burn! It's like watching two muscle-bound dudes argue over who has the biggest bicep. As Trump's presidency rolls on like a runaway train, Arnold's criticism gets louder and louder. It's like he's got a megaphone and he's not afraid to use it. Every time Trump does something questionable, which let's face it is pretty often, Arnold's there to call him out. By the end of Trump's term, their friendship is as dead as Trump's chances of winning a Nobel Peace Prize. It's deader than disco, deader than Trump's dreams of buying Greenland. You get the picture. But folks, this breakup was just the beginning. Arnold was about to go full Terminator on Trump. He was loading up his verbal shotgun, ready to blast Trump into next week. And let me tell you, when the governor decides to take you down, you better watch out.
The only thing is that we don't have to go under completely. We don't have to wait for that moment. Let's change and let's go and be more open and go back to this kind of like a big tent idea of Ronald Reagan. And I think this is why we have helped it to some extent here in California with getting rid of gerrymandering and to do redistricting reform and to have open primaries.
Independents are about to overtake Republicans in California. What can California do differently?
I think independents are going to take over the Republicans, are going to take over the Democrats also.
Trump was about to learn that the hard way. Trump thought he'd seen the last of Arnold's criticism, but he was dead wrong. What happened next was like watching the Terminator go up against a Cheeto-dusted toddler. How bad could it get? Let's just say Arnold didn't just cross the line. He erased it, redrew it, and then blasted it to smithereens. Arnold had been watching Trump's presidency like a bad movie, cringing at every scene. But when the Capitol riot happened, it was like someone swapped Arnold's protein shake for rocket rocket fuel. He was fired up and ready to rumble. So what does the Governator do? He fires up his camera and drops a video that hits harder than one of his famous punches. And boy, did he come out swinging. Arnold didn't pull any punches. He went straight for the jugular, comparing the Capitol riot to Kristallnacht in Nazi Germany. Talk about a heavy comparison. It's like he was trying to knock some sense into Trump's supporters with a historical sledgehammer.
What do you think about Donald Trump running for president again?
You know, I think that's the past. And I think that we have to march into the future. And I think there are very talented people in this country on the Republican side that can run. So I will go, look in the future rather than in a rear mirror.
But Arnold wasn't done. He shared a personal story about his dad, who was a Nazi party member. Arnold said he knows where lies lead, and he wasn't about to let history repeat itself. It was like he was saying, listen up, folks. I've seen this movie before, and trust me, you don't want to see the sequel. Then, in true Schwarzenegger style, he whips out Conan's sword. Because nothing says I'm serious about democracy like a giant piece of steel, right? It was like he was ready to battle the forces of chaos with his bare hands and a really big knife.
His trip this year to Auschwitz, which was the first time he'd been there. Remember, his father was a Nazi. And he talked about anti-Semitism. We talked about a feud he had in the 90s with Sylvester Stallone. There's a lot there.
Feels like it's close enough to Friday already.
Yeah,
after the week
who knows what day it is.
I know. All right.
Just working. There's our promo coming up Friday night at 10:30. Hope people can watch.
Absolutely. All right.
And so all of that is coming up tomorrow night on The Issue Is at 10:30, or Friday night at 10:30 on The Issue Is.
But the real knockout punch? Arnold calls Trump the worst president ever and a failed leader. Ouch, that's gotta hurt more than getting hit by the Terminator. It's like Arnold was saying, "You're fired," to the guy who made "You're fired" famous. The video blew up faster than one of Arnold's movie sets. It spread across the internet like wildfire, with everyone from Lady Gaga to Meghan McCain cheering like they were at an Arnold movie premiere. It was like Arnold had just delivered the action-packed blockbuster of political takedowns, and everyone wanted front row seats. In the end, Arnold proved that sometimes words can hit harder than any punch. And Trump? Well, he was probably wishing he could travel back in time and undo this feud, but hey, he's not exactly known for admitting mistakes, is he? Well, folks, looks like Arnold just terminated Trump's ego faster than you can say, "I'll be back." This showdown between the action hero and the reality TV president was more explosive than a Michael Bay movie. Trump's probably sitting in Mar-a-Lago right now, wishing he had a time machine to undo this mess. But let's face it, admitting mistakes isn't exactly his strong suit. He'd sooner admit his hair is fake than say he was wrong. One thing's for sure, this political soap opera isn't over yet. Who knows what'll happen next? Maybe Trump will try to prove he's stronger than Arnold by attempting to lift Conan's sword. Now that'd be a sight. Orange Man versus Big Steel, coming soon to a Twitter feed near you.